Well, Lars EDVINSON, I'm professor of medicine and researcher on mechanisms of migraine.
Yes. Hi, I'm Arão from Brazil. I'm representing the Brazilian Association for Cluster Headache and Migraine. I'm here to learn a lot of patient advocacy.
I'm Pablo Prieto. I lead marketing and commercialization for Curelator, which is a platform for headache patients.
My name is Antoinette Maassen van den Brink and I'm a pharmacology at Erasmus University Medical Center in the Netherlands, and I'm board member of the European Headache Federation.
My name is SRDJAN. I'm a neurologist. I'm a member of the Serbian Neurology Society. I'm dealing with headache patients. This is my subspecialties. And I formed first headache unit in my country almost 20 years ago. And right now I'm running private headache clinic.
My name is Carlos VILLALON and I work at the Department of Pharmacology of Sinvestav in Mexico City.
My name is Maria Magdalena Wysocka-Bakowska. I'm from Warsaw, Poland. I'm the member and the starting member of the Polish Headache Society. And I also started the first Polish migraine clinic and migraine association.
I think if we can join forces, I mean researchers, doctors and AHA, then we can perhaps more easily or with joint forces get the payers to be interested in migraine and new therapies.
I think it's most than needed, and it's today, from all I've seen in the world, as the most committed organization. So I think everyone should follow its steps.
EHA represents millions of people suffering from headache in Europe, and as such, we need to know and understand what are the needs in terms of awareness, in terms of treatment, in terms of any need that we can help. We are a service company, so that's what we do. We serve patients, so we need to understand what you need.
Yes, it's very important. Of course, we want to create awareness about migraine and we want to educate people about migraine. But I think it's the patients that finally matter most, so we should, of course, collaborate with the patients.
It is important because the worldwide spreading on that knowledge is very important, because we can share our experience and, of course, learn a lot, and then put all of those things in knowledge according to the patient necessity. So we are working with human beings, so that is the reason, because we have to learn to express.
Because in Mexico, actually, we do not have those kinds of organizations. We require one.
I believe it's a great platform where we can meet all the needs of patients and doctors, and we have to understand that the business of patient and the business of doctor is the same, because altogether we want to treat, to give proper treatment, to raise awareness of the disease and to improve the treatment. It is also very important that we assure the access and the information about the new options of treatment. I do believe patients have right to get proper information on time. And I strongly believe that the patient has a right to decide about what kind of treatment he can choose, what are the advantages and disadvantages, and what is the price, what are the side effects. I do believe patients should play an active role in the process of treatment and management of headache, especially migraine, which is not a headache. It's just a brain disease.
I think that's some way it's chance, but my interest was around all these perivascular nerves and what is their function. So at first I did a lot of basic studies to unravel their function, and then comes the next question, what kind of disease are they involved in? And with Peter Goatsby, we got into studies in patients and soon found out that the only neuropeptide being released was CGRP. So then that was a long successful part of these things.
Why headaches? First, in the first place, because I am also a patient. I know what is to live with headaches, with migraine specifically, and it took so much life from people around the world, and it's like a cliche, but it's true. It's visible, but it's real, and very debilitating, and people around the world should take notice of how serious is this condition.
I'm an episodic migraineur, so headache for me represents time down and a mild impact for me in my life. It's not a huge impact because I'm a low-frequency migraineur, and but I do understand the impact that headache can have over time and with higher frequency or severity than I have. Very well.
Okay, so you do understand it very well.
I think so. Well, I think so.
For two reasons, I think. It's scientifically very interesting and challenging. I'm a scientific researcher, and it is a disorder that involves the brain, but also the peripheral nervous system, but also vasculature. And also, for example, one of my interests is female sex hormones, and they are involved. So it's a lot of factors making it very complex, but therefore also very challenging and interesting to study. And the other reason, of course, is that migraine involves severe load for patients and is a burden. So it's very gratifying subject to study.
A lot of neurologists ask me why I'm reached that subspecialty. It's very interesting because I think that from the very beginning of my career, a very small number of neurologists interested in that part of neurology. So I found that a lot of patients, as you see from the statistics, suffer by terrible headaches. So that was the reason, because I found myself that I'm going to be a good doctor and good, I can say, researcher in that area, so I can help a lot of patients.
In principle, I'm a cardiovascular pharmacologist,
Yes.
and in my research, I analyze the potential cardiovascular side effects of anti-migraine drugs.
I believe migraine is such a special and very real brain disease. It's a whole brain disorder where so many factors and so many levels of brain are involved, and the people do suffer a lot, but still they cannot get proper care. It's underdiagnosed and mistreated or undertreated or not treated at all, because the stigma of migraine is so strong that many people, especially men, they will not admit that they have migraines.
Very
We
true.
have women that was never treated properly for migraine, that never heard about triptans. Not to mention cluster headaches, the strongest ever seen headaches in men and in women. For average cluster patient, the first real diagnosis, the right diagnosis, is obtained within 5 to 7 years. Can you imagine what it means never have been diagnosed and never getting proper treatment? The other thing is a treatment issue and medication issue. Unfortunately, despite all our efforts to get reimbursement, we do not have in Poland any reimbursement for triptans, neither for oxygen. Only analgesics and only some analgesics are refunded, and non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs are 50% refunded.
Yeah, this is a shame.
So this complicates the situation. I still believe that there is not enough support system for acute treatment of migraine. And I do believe we need a much stronger support for headache patients.
It's amazing. I'm really surprised in the positive way. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really grateful to be here. Everybody's fantastic. Everybody is so motivated, so engaged, so committed. It's so much good energy that spread from one to another, and I'm more than satisfied.
The summit, as I said, I think it's great. It puts together what each of the different countries is doing, and I think the countries can learn from each other. I think it's difficult to try to build things from the center and then spread out locally. That's perhaps the biggest challenge, but that has always been the case for most businesses. But just the sheer act of getting together, discussing what worked, what didn't work, how much did it cost, how is industry collaborating with each one of you at the local level, those are learnings that are good to improve the way you act on your local countries. I think that's the best for you guys.
I think it's excellent. It has been very inspiring and lots of input from different angles, and it's great to see how people are engaged to bring this topic forward.
Well, it was very interesting. I was surprised how many people come here. Not only patient or person from patient organization. A lot of people from like professionals like me come here to be together and to spread knowledge and expression.
Very well organized, and the scientific content is very balanced with the social content, so it's very nice.
I like this program. I think it's amazing. We can listen to the biggest authorities in neurology, in headache, people like Peter Godsby and LARS EDVINSON. They're almost Nobel Prize candidates. I do know them for over 20 years. I always appreciate talking to them, and I enjoy their knowledge and their engagement into the process of coordinating a global campaign against migraine.